Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope you all are fine, safe and sound at your homes. I'm here with my second English lecture today. As you know that we have started our Zoom online classes, revision classes once again, so that we can make you revise all the course through our this online session. As we have started the revision of unit number 10, book exercises. So today the topic I'm going to explain is adjective phrase. It's the very first topic of the review exercise at page 103, unit 10, page 103 of your book. The very first topic of the review exercise of unit 10. Adjective phrase. Before starting the explanation of adjective phrase, you should first know both the terms. Phrase. Phrase is a group of words without subject and verb that conveys an incomplete meaning. You clear? Adjective is a word which which gives more information about a noun or a pronoun. Or in other words, you may say a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun is called an adjective. Now you are clear about adjective and phrase. Let's join both the terms together and form an adjective phrase. Now, what's an adjective phrase? A phrase that functions like an adjective in a sentence is called an adjective phrase. Or a group of words that modifies a noun or a pronoun is called the adjective phrase. Now, some of the examples of adjective phrases are, I bought a new and expensive dress. See here that adjective plus adjective forms an adjective phrase. When we have one word, that is adjective, only new. If I say I bought a new dress, so it's an adjective. When I say I bought a new and expensive, two adjectives I have used. They are joined together with the help of coordinating conjunctions. So when we have two words, it's a phrase. And of course, these are two adjectives. So these are the adjective phrases here, okay? Here it is used as an adjective phrase. New and expensive dress. Now, new and expensive, two adjectives, so two words means it's a phrase. What kind of phrase it is? It's an adjective phrase because it's modifying the dress, noun. That which dress I bought? I bought a new and expensive dress. So a group of words which modifies a noun. Here dress is modified, so it's an adjective phrase. You clear? It's very easy to locate or to identify adjective phrase in the sentences. Now see the second example. They're very talented. Now here in this example, very talented is underlined part of the sentence. Like which kind of people they are very talented kind of a people. Now very is adverb, talented is adjective. So when adverb plus adjective or adverb and adjectives are joined together, they form an adjective phrase. Just like this sentence, very is adverb, talented is adjective, and both of them joined together makes a adjective phrase, which is giving you more information about that what kind of people they are. They are the very talented kind of people. So you can also say he is extremely tired. Extremely tired. Now extremely is an adverb, tired is adjective. She's so beautiful. Now so is adverb of degree. Beautiful is adjective. So whenever we have an adverb with an adjective, both of them joined together forms an adjective phrase. Now see the third example. The girl eating burger is my neighbor. Which is my neighbor? The girl eating burger. Now here eating is the present participle, fourth form of verb that is functioning like an adjective here. Eating burger, present participle plus noun. Which girl is my neighbor? The girl eating burger is my neighbor. Now here this eating burger is modifying the girl, noun, subject. Clear? So it is used as an adjective phrase here. Now see the fourth example. The crown made of gold is yours. Now here, made of gold, past participle made. Made is the past participle. You know what the past participle is? The third form of the verb is called past participle. Now past participle is this phrase is starting with the past participle. So made of gold is modifying crown. It's giving you more information about crown, that which crown is yours. The crown made of gold is yours, not made of diamond, but the made of gold one is yours. So it is made of gold is used here as an adjective phrase which is giving you more information about crown. Now see the last example. The book on the table is mine. Now here the underlined part is on the table. Now this on the table is a prepositional phrase actually. Basically it's a prepositional phrase. But here you see that as a noun is placed before this prepositional phrase. Book is a noun which is placed before this prepositional phrase. So this is modifying, or this is describing, or it's on the table prepositional phrase is giving you more information about book, that which book is mine. The book on the table is mine, yet the book under the table is mine. Clear? Below the table is mine. So when the prepositional phrases are functioning like adjectives, when they are modifying the word, the noun or the pronoun, they are called adjective phrases. They are no more prepositional phrases at that time. They are adjective phrases, okay? Now, these are some of the examples of the adjective phrases. Okay, here I want to clear you one more thing, that prepositional phrases can be used as an adverb phrase as well, okay? But when it modifies a verb or adjective or another adverb, then you may consider it an adverb phrase. Now here it is modifying a noun. So as per definition rules, it is modifying noun book, so it is functioning like an adjective phrase. Clear? Originally it's a prepositional phrase, but here it is modifying noun book, so it is an adjective phrase, okay? Now the very next topic we have is adjective clause. But before explaining the adjective clause, let's have a quick review of the clause. What's a clause? A group of words that has a subject and a verb. That is called a clause. When we have a subject and verb, it is called a clause. Clauses has two kinds. The first one is called independent clause or main clause or principal clause. The second one is dependent clause or subordinate clause. As from the names, it's clear that independent clause can stand alone. It conveys a complete thought, a complete meaning. It does not require help of any other clause to be connected with to give a complete meaning. While dependent clause or subordinate clause, from the name it's clear, dependent, it cannot stand alone. It depends on other clause to be connected with to convey a complete meaning. It cannot stand alone, okay? Now, independent clause does not have further kinds because it is independent. It can stand alone. It does not need help. It is conveying a complete meaning itself, so it doesn't require help. While dependent clause, which needs help, which depends on other clauses, which needs help, is further categorized into three categories or three kinds. They are called noun clauses, adjective clauses, and the adverb clauses. Clear? Now, today the topic we have is the adjective clause. Adjective clause. What's an adjective clause? You know what the adjective is? Adjective is one word that modifies a noun or a pronoun. Now, adjective clause. It's a kind of subordinate clause that functions like an adjective in a sentence. It is also called a relative clause because it starts with a relative pronoun. Clear? Very clearly it's mentioned how in a sentence you can identify an adjective clause. If some sentences are given to you and you are asked to underline the adjective clauses, so how will you do it? How will you identify the adjective clause? It's very easy because adjective clauses are also called relative clauses. Why they are called relative clauses? Just because they start with relative pronouns. As you can see this example, the girl who is sitting next to me is my sister. Now, the underlined part, who is sitting next to me, this is adjective clause or a relative clause, and it is modifying the girl. It's giving you more information. Which girl is my sister? The girl who is sitting next to me. It's answering the question word which. Who is next to me? This is modifying the girl. So this is adjective clause. Clear? Now, as it is called a relative clause as well. Why? Because it starts with a relative pronoun. So if you just observe the sentence, this word who is a relative pronoun. It means the adjective clause always starts with a relative pronoun. So it must start with the relative pronoun. So it's easy to identify a relative clause or adjective clause in a sentence. Now, the question might be in your mind that what are the relative pronouns that the relative clause or adjective clause starts with? Relative pronouns take the place of nouns or pronouns. They are called relative pronouns because they are always relate back to something or someone else. They are used to join two sentences about the same person or thing. Now, we have 5 relative pronouns actually: who, whose, whom, which, and that. We have 5 relative pronouns. We use these 5 relative pronouns in the adjective clauses. Our adjective clause always starts with these 5 relative pronouns, okay? Here is some more information about relative pronouns. You can go through it, can take screenshot and go through these examples. Now, some of the rules for the relative clauses. You should know that these relative pronouns are used for which purposes. Now, who and that refer to people. Which and that refer to objects. Whose refers to position or relations. When refers to a moment in time. And where refers to a particular place. Examples are given ahead. Now let's see some of the examples. I like a person who always works on time. Now the underlined part is the adjective clause or the relative clause because it starts with a relative pronoun who, and it's modifying, this whole clause is modifying that which person I like. Person. This whole clause is modifying person. So girls, remember, just like the adjective phrase, adjective clauses must have the nouns or the pronouns just before the clauses. Okay, like person, you see in this example, first example, person is used or placed just before the clause. So the relative clause or adjective clause must have a noun or a pronoun before it. Now see the second example. We had a dog which looked attractive. Now which looked attractive is modifying dog. It's giving you more information about dog. So it is adjective clause. Now see, the dress that you bought yesterday is quite expensive. Which dress is expensive? That you bought yesterday. That you bought yesterday is adjective clause because noun is placed before this clause. Dress. Okay? Dress is the noun which is placed before this clause. And it is modifying or giving you more information about dress. Now see the example number 4. I need a house which should have 7 bedrooms. Now, which should have 7 bedrooms is further or more explaining house, noun. So it is adjective clause. Okay, beside those 5 relative pronouns which we have discussed earlier, we have 3 relative adverbs, common relative adverbs that usually relative clauses or adjective clauses start with. They are where, why, and when. So besides those 5 relative pronouns, these 3 relative adverbs are also used in relative clauses or adjective clauses. You know that where refers to place, when refers to time, and why refers to reason. So we can also start our adjective clauses with these 3 relative adverbs. Now let's see one of the example of these relative adverbs. Now, where, when, and why, the definition of relative adverb is that an adverb that heads an adjective clause that is used at the beginning of the adjective clause. This is called a relative clause. See here, this red part is the relative clause or the adjective clause. Let's see. The place where the animals gather to drink is near. The place is near is main clause. Where an animals gather, where the animals gather to drink. This is dependent clause. What kind of dependent clause? The adjective clause, because it's starting with the relative adverb where. It's a relative clause because it starts with a relative adverb. Now, as I've said that besides those 5 particular relative pronouns, these 3 relative adverbs can also be used in relative clauses or adjective clauses, as it is very clearly said that adjective clauses or relative clauses always start with these relative words, relative pronouns or relative adverbs. So it's easy to identify the relative clauses in a sentence. Okay, hope you have understood today's topic, both the topics, adjective phrases and adjective clauses. Now I have prepared a worksheet for you. There are 10 sentences. You see 10 example sentences given here. What you have to do is just to find out the adjective phrases in this particular exercise. For example, number 1, let me do it for you. Have you ever seen an elephant with a white skin? Now here, where is the adjective phrase? With a white skin. It's originally a prepositional phrase, but as it is modifying elephant, the noun elephant, it's giving you more information about elephant. So it is used here as an adjective phrase. Originally prepositional phrase, but functioning like an adjective phrase here in the sentence. Now, from sentence number 2 onwards, you have to do it yourself. If you can solve this exercise and can correctly underline the adjective phrases, it means you are well understood by this topic, adjective phrase. Now here I have formed two more exercises for adjective clauses, as adjective clauses are also called relative clauses. So it's important that you should learn about the relative pronouns and relative adverbs. That's why I have particularly chosen this exercise. In exercise 1 and 2 both, what you have in exercise 1, let me explain the first one. What you have to do is to join both the sentences with the help of a particular or accurate relative pronoun or relative adverb, so that we can skip the subject and use a relative pronoun to form a relative clause. 2 clauses are given. Join them together with the help of a relative pronoun in order to form an adjective clause in this exercise number 1. Now come to exercise 2. Complete the following sentences. Here again, some of the only relative pronouns are missing. Okay, what you need to do is to just put the accurate correct relative pronouns or relative adverbs in these blanks. If you're capable of solving both the exercises, means you have understood the topic very well. Hope you have understood today's topic. That's all from today. We will inshallah carry on with our next lecture and next grammar topic in our next lecture. Have a very nice day. Thank you very much.